I made 2 videos that both did pretty well on their respective platforms. And when you have a video that gets a little bit of traction, you also have people making judgments about you. Someone watched a video of me and assumed that I had a husband who was harassing me. I think the biggest thing that threw me off about that one was that someone looked at me and thought, yeah, I think she's straight. On another video where someone didn't agree with me calling out a section of bullies on the internet, they said that, yeah, of course someone with pink hair would have that opinion. My hair was only pink at the front. It was a faded out rainbow at the back. Get it right. And someone else merely said, she looks vegan. Which is right! I am vegan and gluten-free. I think I spilled ice cream on the floor. And if I've learned anything in the past 10-ish years of being a vegan in one of the smaller states in semi-rural Australia, it's that we've come a long way with snacks. But maybe not far enough. I love a snack, I love a treat, I love tasty food, and when something has fun packaging, I will almost always fall for it, as long as it doesn't have ingredients in it or could be contaminated by ingredients, because sometimes it will say, I'm vegan, but maybe I contain a bit of crustacean, and I'm like, no, that's not reading vegan for me. While simultaneously, I am a hypocrite, because if something that I want may contain milk, I will still be having it. I'm a flawed human with many facets. But basically, snacks for vegan, gluten-free people have just become so much better than they used to be, and I was just having a little spoonful of this ice cream, and I thought I should rank them as I eat them over the next month. Which means I get to eat a lot of snacks. None of these snacks are sponsored. I have bought them with my own or my mum's money, and I'll give you my honest opinion. So first up is this Koyo cookies and cream dairy-free ice cream. I grew up making this super rich, it had like a lot of cream, a lot of biscuits, this ice cream, and it was delicious. I think it had condensed milk, cream, crushed cookies. It was so good. And I saw this, and Koyo actually had a bunch of different ones. I think there was a pink salted caramel, double chocolate, something else, and this. So I wasn't sure which one I was going to get, but I ended up getting this one, and it's delicious. It's not quite the full nostalgia of the one I grew up with, but it's like the best dupe I've ever had. It has like big chunks of cookie in it. I'm very used to coconut ice cream, so I don't notice a strong coconutty taste, even though coconut is the main ingredient. It does have like a little bit of a funny aftertaste that you would get maybe with a artificial sweetener, but it doesn't have an artificial sweetener in there, so I'm not really sure where that's coming from. It could be the chickpea flour in the cookies, but it's delicious. The only downside is I can't share it with Castor because it's got chocolate in it, so surprised that I actually took a gamble on this because it was quite expensive. And I'm not the biggest fan of the Koyo yogurt. I think it's too wet and too soft. I like a yogurt that has yogurt consistency, not one that kind of is a bit less like that. But this is really good. I would try the other ones. I like it. I like it. I'd give it a good rating. Drinks get to be snacks too, okay? Because I make the rules. These are both pretty boring, so I'm just going to be quick. We have a blood orange iced tea from Dilmah. This was not fun. I wanted like a nice iced tea to have with my lunch, and it's pretty, which is why I bought it. But it didn't taste pretty. It tasted like oversteeped black tea with a bit of a fruit flavour. It really tasted more like a peach iced tea than a blood orange iced tea. Like, I really love the packaging, but it wasn't fun. It didn't taste that great. The next is a Bobby drink, which I had never heard of, but again, it's just the design. Usually I wouldn't get a grape drink, you know, but there were other flavours which probably would have been nicer, but just the beautiful plain purple and just the thought of, ooh, grape, like purple grape. I wanted it. I needed it. I was craving it. It is sweetened by erythritol and steviol, which sweeteners, it did have that aftertaste where your mouth kind of revolts at the weird, not sweet, but too sweet, unnatural sweet flavor in your mouth, which I didn't enjoy very much. It tasted like so strongly of artificial grape, which was exactly what I wanted at the time. Now, I have actually finished these. It's been a busy week for snacking, okay? I tried a lot of new things. I have just pulled this packet out of my bin because I finished these last night, so I can't eat them on the camera. But basically, these are Pineapple Passion Black Currant with vitamin B2 for some reason. Welly Bites, and I wanted a snack, and they're vegan and gluten-free and palm oil free. And before I was vegan, before I was gluten-free, I was a palm oil free little babe. So I was very pleased to see this. I'd never heard of this brand before. I thought they'd probably be sour. I love a sour sweet combo. These were about $7, and there was quite a bit in there, but it's 70 grams. It was not worth that. These two were sweetened with maltitol, maltitol and erythritol. I thought stevia was in there as well because it was that again, unpleasant artificial sweetener taste. These were also really unpredictable because I had a couple one day and I actually mixed them with my Bobby grape soda because I was interested to see what reaction that would have. Nothing. I thought maybe I would start like fizzing like a Barocca. I didn't. They were just so different each time you had them. I kind of started craving them last night and like ate 10 in a row, and then I did start feeling slightly nauseous after, and then I came back and finished the packet about an hour later. I don't necessarily have the best preservation tactics. You know when you're chewing gum and it gets to the point with like cheap chewing gum where it becomes quite tacky and hard? These did that, which was quite strange, quite a bizarre experience. Haven't had that before. But then there was just so much inconsistency with the flavors, both of the pineapple passion flavor and then the black currant. Every time I had them, I thought like, okay, maybe because I'm like eating with a soft drink, they taste like this. But then the next time I had them, they were sour that I hadn't tasted the first time. And then the next time I had them, they weren't sour, and then some of them were really sour. It was very odd. Also, Caramel Serious Popcorn. This is a New Zealand brand that's really popular in Australia, and there's a bunch of different flavors. There's sea salt, chocolate, something else, and salted caramel. And are we seeing a trend here? I just love good packaging. I love good branding on all of the different flavors. The bears are different colors, so it's blue on sea salt and dark brown on chocolate, caramel colored on caramel. This is just a handful to show what the proportions are like. You'll have some pieces that are like decently covered, pretty covered, and then nothing. This isn't bad by any means. I will eat all of this, but I don't like it as much as my own homemade caramel popcorn. It's a really nice snack, and it's probably healthier than my own caramel popcorn because there's, you know, a lot less caramel. If you just have it piece by piece, you're not going to get a good flavor scope. Let's have a branding moment. The Flavor Scope by Romy. I can't always promise I'm not gonna eat the product completely before we get here. This is my favorite chocolate brand. I love it. So Loco Love is a Australian chocolate brand based in Byron Bay, and they're these little they're these little chocolate bites of dreams. They're about that thick and that long, and they're just these, so this is my favorite flavor, but I have tried nearly all of them at least once. So this is my favorite flavor, which is butter caramel pecan with cinnamon. It's just got a little dusting of cinnamon on top, and it's so delicious. You bite into it and it's the best like caramel pull. I have literally bitten into it and it's like still going. And there's a whole pecan inside. Sometimes the pecan is just a pecan. Sometimes the pecan seems like it has been like cooked in caramel and is a little bit, it's like it has a crunchy little shell around it. It's very tasty. These are literally so delicious. I love them so much. The caramel, like, we love a good branding moment. I would love the price point to be a little lower. You know, it's pretty normal if you're looking vegan, gluten-free, but if you're a real big fan of them and you have them quite a lot, it does add up. I think I bought $17 something worth of them today, so. Today's little treat, Vegeta's veggie chips. Sea salt and vinegar flavor. I try not to eat potato chips despite how tasty they are. If I eat them like 2-3 days later, I will have a really bad skin flare up, and it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. So I've been enjoying these as a substitute from a little chip, a little crisp, a little potato. Original is my favorite flavor, but if I'm getting them just for myself and not sharing them, I've been enjoying having sea salt and vinegar just because I've always loved a salt and vinegar. And this is a really good combination because at first you get that vinegariness and then you just get the regular flavor, so it's like 2 in 1. It's great. Packaging wise, this is a failure. It's not interesting. The colors clash, it's ugly and it's dated looking, but inside it tastes pretty good. So I had to wait 40 minutes for a bus and I hadn't packed a water, so I found myself back at the interesting drinks counter, and I wanted to try the creaming soda Bobby. I nearly went for a different drink, which I think was like a raspberry and pear, but one of the main ingredients was stevia and I just couldn't do it. But then I got this, which has the exact same ingredient. And this is creamy soda. I didn't grow up with creaming soda. The drinks that I grew up having were ginger beer, lemonade, the occasional Fanta, and sarsaparilla. Oh, so good. But the pink can drew me in and I thought, yeah, let's try this. This brand also has like a cola, a vanilla cola, lemon and lime, lemonade, a few other flavors. Am I gonna try them all? No. But I did actually really like this. I really, really enjoyed this. The first few sips took me back in time because it tasted almost exactly like a cough syrup I had when I was little. And there's this one cough syrup I had that just tasted so good. It was like a flavor sensation. And every few years I'll taste something that will have that similar flavor and I'll just lose my mind a little bit. It's great. Again, I think I said this with the grape, I'd like it to be a little less sweet, but this one didn't have an overpowering flavor in the way the grape did. I would actually get this again. I did really enjoy it. I will be back. You gotta have a cup of tea with this one because otherwise it's just not as good. You need the dunking action. Today we have Kez's Choc Golden Snaps, commonly referred to by my mother as a Kingston biscuit. I used to love a biscuit. The theme here is Romy liked sweets, candies, chocolate and lollies, mostly lollies. Also ice cream, also icy poles. Calippos, oh, childhood favourite. Toucans, they don't do them anymore. I want Scott to have both for myself. Joy. These I first had while on holiday in the Bay of Fires earlier this year, and it was incredibly cold and it was February, but still had been, you know, we had a very hot summer and I didn't pack anything in case the weather turned, and the weather was miserable the whole time. I ate a lot of these with lots of cups of tea. Basically, it's a biscuit with chocolate on the butt and it's really good. They are far too small though. This is like a mini cookie, like, you know, mini hot cross buns. This is like a mini cookie. Where's the rest of you? Packaging is definitely boring. You layer them up and they're fairly similar, but I mean, some biscuits you can enjoy without a warm beverage to dunk them in. Some you just can't. You know, I would have one without, but I never enjoy it as much as if I had a cup of tea or a little chai or hot chocolate, a little hot chockey. If you have these ones without the little dunk, you notice the chocolate is not the best. It's Very thin, which isn't a bad thing, necessarily. Got like a slickness to it, which isn't ideal if it's not pre-warmed. Melting that slickness right off. Caroline's passion fruit pre and probiotic soda. I thought I should have a change from the Bobby, and I thought, oh, this is cheaper by 5 cents. This was $3.95, and I've actually had this one before, so I was like, okay, let's have it again, because then I can review it. I don't remember it tasting this bad. As someone who is very much not a minimalist, I seem to really be drawn to minimalist logos. I really like the packaging, the design, the colorscape of this. When you smell it, you can smell passion fruit, but more than that, you smell a vinegariness, and that is really the whole experience of this drink down to a T. It's not bad, but it's also not what I would call nice. This is another one that's sugar-free, so it uses a combination of erythritol and stevia, and I've just seen it's got apple cider vinegar in it, so that really explains the vinegariness. I thought I was being so mean. Like, I will drink this, but I really hope that I remember if I see this in a year not to try it again. It has more of the taste of a commercial kombucha, which tend to be a bit more on the slightly acidic, vinegary taste sphere from my experience, which is why I much prefer making my own. And that's just what this made me think of, and I was kind of wishing I just had at least the Bobby passion fruit, because that was nicer. It's also, because of the acidicness, it also doesn't taste sweet enough, and then afterwards you do get that like artificial sweetener flavour. I would just prefer a little bit of sugar, honestly, instead of that. Serious cookies, white chocolate and macadamia. I've loved these cookies for years, but it was only when I got this tattoo done that I found them in a health food shop, and I had them again for like the first time in 3 years. They're so good. They're really dense, but it's not a bad thing. They're sweet, but they're not too sweet. They're just delicious. They are very small, but they're quite thick. As far as I'm aware, there's 3 flavors of these. There's the white chocolate and macadamia, there's choc chip, and then there's double choc chip. I think I've tried them all. I really like choc chip, but I was craving some white chocolate and macadamia because those were the cookies that I would go feral for as a child. White chocolate, macadamia, it makes it feel like it's even more white chocolate. So good. You bite into them and you think, this is hard, and then it breaks and you start chewing, and you get this wave of just gentle sweetness in your mouth, and then you get a little hint of macadamia, because there's macadamia pieces in it. I'm literally drooling, and the white chocolate just kind of bursts and melts, and it's so good. I'm always turned off a little bit because of the price point, because it's a small thing for, you know, $11. I'm really glad I got these yesterday. I'm going to eat them all. So this was the Southern Ocean Soda brand smoked cola, and just the day before, my mum was telling me about how she went out to dinner and my sister tried this smoked cola thing. I didn't realize it was this exact brand. My sister really likes it. I thought it was like this new trend, and then I saw it and I thought, I'm gonna try smoked cola because that sounds wild, and it was. It's just, I guess, Coca-Cola that's like infused with smoke. I didn't know that was a concept. I didn't know we were doing smoked drinks, but I was game, and I really do love and appreciate the fact that this quite minimalist design perfectly matches my outfit today. Like, how beautiful is that? The sweetness was fine. The fizz was fine. The cola level of the taste of the cola, that's fine as well. But you would drink it and be like, oh, is this just a Coke? I haven't had Coke in about 14 years, so I don't really remember what it tastes like. But I was like, oh yeah, this just tastes like a drink. And then it hits you, the smoke. I sent my mum a message that basically just said it was like having a nice drink and then afterwards inhaling a bag of smoky beef jerky, just, and mixing those two things, especially as someone who has not consumed beef jerky in over half of my life, wasn't a merry combo. I don't like wasting things, but I'm also not going to consume something if it's not nice. And I had about a quarter of this before I tipped it down the sink. It was not good. It was so overwhelming, and I kept trying it. I was like, maybe if I can get rid of that smoke sensation, it'll be fine. It wasn't, because I couldn't get rid of the smoke sensation, because that's the, integral part of it. What time is it? Some might say summertime, but I say early enough in the morning that a cookie is definitely a good idea. Today we are trying the Friends of Frank Treat Yourself Every Day raw cacao and hazelnut cookies, all vegan, gluten-free. Now I would like to bring up an important thing about allergies. I'm not vegan because I've got allergies. I'm vegan for moral reasons, but I find it incredibly frustrating on products that are labeled as vegan, like these, that have an allergy advice thing produced on equipment that contains dairy, eggs, and nuts. Some vegans thusly wouldn't eat this. I personally wouldn't eat anything that was manufactured on the same equipment as fish products, that kind of thing, an actual meat product. I won't do that, but I'll do this. Packaging on this one is a little boring, but it wins points because the little cookies have faces and they're clearly like chewing on something, so that's fun. It's like a $10 packet, so it's not cheap. The box has 8 cookies into 4 cookie sleeves. The packaging is really not great, which I think is like $1.20 a cookie. And I'm just gonna say now, I don't think these are worth $1.20 a cookie. I've had better cookies that are cheaper and contain more. Now these aren't bad, but they're not brilliant. I really, really liked them when I first tried them, but that was also my first week at a new job. And I was stressed and I was hungry. And I'll be honest, there's a little bit of like a old flavor to them. Not matured, old. I don't know if it's the cacao or the dates. There are a few little pieces of date chunks in there and a few little bits of hazelnut, which is nice, but I had one of these last night and I was like, hang on, this is better than I thought it was last week. It's because I'd just eaten a dried banana, so I was finding these caramelly bits of dried banana coming out of my teeth into the biscuit, which vastly improved it. I would eat these. I have eaten 5 already, and I'm about to have another one because I'm hungry, but I don't think I would get them again because they're edible, but they're not like the best thing. It's leaving this taste that this product has been in your grandmother's cupboard for like 4 years, and it's still fine, but it's been in there for 4 years. But like I said, I'm still gonna eat it. I tried another one! I tried the passion fruit one. It was too bubbly, not sweet enough, and it tasted like not sugar. I really like the flavor of this one, but it was too bubbly and it was too noticeably not sugar. It just had that aftertaste and I didn't like it, and it needed to be sweeter with actual sugar. That's my top, thank you. We have some Sweet Williams chocolate. Yum! Sweet Williams was one of the first chocolate types I tried when I became vegan because they're vegan and they're gluten-free. And it wasn't terrible, but I quickly realized it also was not the best. And then last year I was presented with these. These are caramel chocolate bites, and I'll be damned if they are not the best caramel chocolate I've ever tried. Can you tell that as a child I might have had a massive cavity of a sweet tooth? Packaging wise, we're not inspired. We've got like a little animated version of the real chocolate bites. It's a nice little, it's not like a chocolate button.
It really is a chocolate bite. And the best way to have these is with a cup of tea, and you dip it in and you nom 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 and you keep dipping, because melted in your mouth is the best. I'm not really someone who just goes hung, 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 hung. I need a cup of tea most of the time. But for the sake of the video, let your mouth warm it up. These are pretty sweet, but they're delicious. And the carameliness is so caramel. They're the perfect density, thickness. The caramel flavour is delicious. I love having a couple of these with a cup of tea. It just makes the world a better place. Brighter, sunnier, blissful, delicious. Yes, all right, I did it again. It wasn't particularly lemony, it wasn't particularly limey. I didn't really like it, and it wasn't sweet enough. Kind of the thing that I'm noticing with these Bobby drinks is that there isn't, a standard. Some of them will be way too sweet. Some of them will have this flavour that tastes way too artificial and is very strong, while some of them are, so subtle that you can barely taste them, and they're either too fizzy or they're not fizzy enough. They're too sweet or they're not sweet enough, and I just would like to find the middle ground. I really wanted another cream soda, but they didn't have it in stock, so I was going between ginger beer and lemon lime, and I just thought lemon lime might be a bit like a lemon lime and bitters. It was not. It wasn't like lemonade. I've never had limeade. It was just a kind of a dull middle ground, and it was too fizzy for my tummy. I have never drunk so much carbonated things since I was about 6. I'm like a child at a 7-year-old's birthday party going mad. I got my treats! I had never seen these. Oh, there's bits of chocolate coming out. Oh no, that's terrible. Ooh, ooh, to the It's the Pana Organic Pecan Brittle. I'm not obsessed with this packaging. I think it's quite dull. I can see what they've gone for, but I just don't think it really worked. There's being minimalistic and a simplistic design, and then there is taking that a little too far and making it disinteresting. But I did like the sound of the chocolate that was pecan brittle flavoured. I've had many a Pana Organic product, from their version of Nutella to their chocolate caramel saucy spread thing, to their ice creams, which are divine, to their ice cream as well, to their coconut rough chocolate, which is very nice. And I currently have Pana Organic cocoa powder. This is what one of the squares looks like. It does say caramel 26% cacao, but I didn't think that these would be like a white chocolate or like a caramel chocolate. So this is like a white caramel chocolate with bits of pecan brittle in it. You can kind of see there's like a big chunk of brittle. There's a bit of nut. This is one of the sweetest things I have had in a long time. It's really nice, and I think it will be nicer once it's been in the fridge or the freezer. But like, one piece of this is too much because it's so sweet. I'm still gonna eat it, but the flavour is delicious. The concept is delicious, but it needs to have like easy 20% less sugar, because you're literally wincing by the end of it. Now these, I'm assuming, are an Easter product, but I've never seen Pana do an Easter product before. It's shaped like an egg, which kind of gives it away, but it doesn't say anything about Easter on it. I got this on clearance. It's May now, Easter was a few weeks ago. There was also a white chocolate one, but after the peanut brittle, I thought I'm not going to get the white chocolate. Instead, I'll get the peanut butter and strawberry. And I've got mixed feelings. Pana uses this blue in a lot of their branding, and I usually hate it. And I have a love-hate relationship with this packaging because I think it really stands out. And I also don't like it, but I also do like it. Go figure. So basically, this is milk chocolate that has peanut butter through it, but also peanut chunks, and then bits of like strawberry, and not like freeze-dried strawberry. It's like a chewy actual strawberry pieces. There were a few really big chunks, like 2 or 3 big chunks that you could see, and it's like a kind of candied, chewy actual half a strawberry. It's great. It took me a few chomps to decide whether or not I liked this. At first, I couldn't taste anything. At second,
I didn't know how I felt about the strawberry. I thought I probably didn't like it, and then I got to really enjoying it. And it's a very subtle, simple flavour, just a nice quality milk chocolate with a little bit of texture, which is the peanut butter mix through. Then when you get the peanut chunks, but if you get a hunk of strawberry, it needs to be more strawberry. There needs to be more strawberry, like double the amount of strawberry, because I believe there's only been like 3 actual strawberry chunks and then maybe some tiny little baby bits. When you get a bit of peanut and a bit of strawberry, you're onto something. Like, it's not my favourite chocolate ever. I wouldn't see it and buy it every time. Like, it's not a Loco Love. Sorry, Panna. Every time I see a Loco Love, I kind of need to buy one. But if I hadn't had this for a few months and I saw it, or if I see it next Easter, I'd be like, oh, I remember that, let's have it. This is the famous Soda Co. Pink Lemonade. I've lost my voice. Hashtag so delicious. Oh, I get it. I really like the colour of it, and that's why I got it. I've had a couple of pink lemonades, but it's not really something I'm terribly familiar with, like what's meant to make it pink. This is really nice. It's not too sweet. It's got a really nice flavour. I like it a lot. I do. I like it a lot. Look how pretty it is.